American Wire Gauge, AWG. Here goes a picture of two wires. The smaller wires is a 20-gauge wire and the larger wire is a 16-gauge wire. Why is the larger wire labeled with a smaller wire size? I was first taught that a 1-pound ball of lead was stretched to a certain length and that was called a 1-gauge wire. When that 1-pound ball of lead was split in two with both sides stretched to the same length of a 1-gauge wire, both new wires were called 2-gauge wires. When that 1-pound ball of lead was split into quarters then stretched into a wire, those wires were 4-gauge wires. So it happened that the larger the wire size, the smaller the diameter of the wire. Unfortunately, while a nice story, that's not why wires labeled with a larger gauge has smaller diameters. The real reason why larger gauge wires have smaller diameters has to do with the way wires used to be made. Wire used to be drawn through successively smaller holes so that the wires progressively has smaller diameters. The number of steps that it took to step down a thicker wire to get to the smaller desired wire diameter became the gauge of the wire. If it took 6 steps to get a wire a certain diameter, then that wire was a 6-gauge wire. Now, I no longer have a cute story to tell students on why larger wires have smaller diameters. If a student asks why, I just say engineers. Who knows what those guys are thinking of?